So really slowing down, whether it's a perspective or a substance like food or anything else, overworking, whatever your route of escapism is, because we've all had and have gone through transmuting or transforming or in the process of transforming or alchemizing some kind of escapism behavior at some point, or currently we are doing that or in the process of. And even then, sometimes these behaviors or these things pop up again after transmuting them. They come or show up in some way, shape, or form in some other way, okay? So in this slowing down this thing that you get involved in, and this sort of escaping behavior in whatever way this shows up for you, and slowing that down and slowing down life and actually just experiencing and seeing situations for exactly what they are, really just observing what's going on. You're seeing what you didn't see before when you were trying to escape, when you were trying to not look, right? And I think what you're finding is that in this calmer state of mind, in this centered space, it's actually not that bad. I mean, you're seeing people show their true colors, and you're noticing like how you resonate with those things. You know, we are all one. We've all experienced being that person before in some way, shape, or form as well. So it's not that you're necessarily judging them, but you're seeing them show their true colors in a more blatant way, right? You're seeing yourself show your true colors in a blatant way, more blatant way. This might be about you in a sense, but I think the bigger point is that you're observing your environment for what it is, and you're seeing the truth. You're allowing truth to come through. You're keeping the foggy glasses off your face. Not trying to see through those rose-colored lenses. You're trying to just see. You're allowing yourself to see. It's because we were always connected and we always had an open channel, but we weren't always allowing ourselves to sit in that space, you know? We didn't want to see it. We didn't want to hear it. We didn't want to acknowledge the truth. And in many ways, this still continues to show up for us. We may consider ourselves very evolved or spiritually awake, spiritually awake. But still, there's always more to see. There's always more to learn, isn't there? But I think one of the biggest things that we're noticing, myself included, is a lot of these things that we've been struggling, hear me out, struggling to handle, struggling to let go of, like the anger. And I think that anger is a big one. I think that whoever I'm speaking with has realized or is about to realize that this struggle in this trigger, these like ongoing triggers, like why am I irritable? Why am I angry? Why am I still irritable occasionally? And it just kind of lingers and it lasts all day. When you're in that state and there's nothing really outside of you that has necessarily triggered this, or like, know that something did. Something actually did, and it's why you're sitting there in that space where you're just kind of annoyed. It's like low-key annoyed for like a little bit too long. Okay, when you're there And either I'm talking to someone who this just happened to them, to you, or is about to happen to you, and you're going to realize you're so much stronger than you give yourself credit for, because you're actually in this moment, or in that moment, in the future moment, you're going to realize that you were holding somebody else's feelings. You were holding somebody else's emotions. That their anger kind of rubbed off on you and sat with you and got stuck inside just because it was them. It was their feelings. And you're like, and I don't love using the word empath, because I don't, for many reasons I won't get into in this video because I don't want it to be too long. But you are that, and you are a human. You are a spiritual being having a human experience in this vessel that you are in. And sometimes those energies of other people, they rub off on us. And in our attempts to maintain this idea of alignment, it's important, of course. But in our efforts to sort of put a barricade up and put these walls up, like, no, these negative emotions are not allowed to come in. No. You know, other people's moods are not going to rub off on me. Our attempts to ignore how they do occasionally rub off on us, by not allowing ourselves to acknowledge, by not allowing ourselves to take a moment with ourselves privately and say, listen, I hear you. That was pretty irritating back there. This person tried to rub off their negative, they tried to rub their bad mood off on me. They were trying to, they put out these projections onto me, when we all know that wasn't about me, that was about them. It's okay to sit privately with ourselves and say, you know what? That didn't feel good. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't like it, but they're not in a place to talk about it, and that's okay. I'm going to acknowledge that it didn't feel good, and I'm going to reclaim my energy. I now reclaim my energy. Say this to the universe, we're going to say this to the universe in these moments. I reclaim my energy. I call back my own energy, and so it is, and so it's been done. We have to reclaim and pull back these parts of ourselves. Otherwise, we spend the entire day drained just because we have refused to acknowledge that another person's bad mood has rubbed off on us. And in that sense, in our attempts to maintain control of our own alignment, we've projected this fear of being misaligned and created a situation where we've become misaligned. I hope this helps someone today. Remember that anger wasn't yours. It wasn't yours. It was never yours. I love you.